And I want to first introduce the new recruits about to be officers and some newly about to be promoted police officers. If you could please ask them to join us. Let's give them a round of applause as they come in. Thank you. You can have a seat. Thank you. Please have a seat. And they deserve that big round of applause. Welcome to everybody, family, friends, fellow law enforcement officials that are here to help us celebrate this special day. These are always great days as a chief of police to be able to recognize individuals who have accomplished so much and swear them in and have their family members participate in this process, but also to recognize some officers that are being promoted. During this whole event, please don't hesitate. If you want to get up and take photographs and get closer, you're allowed to. This is a family event. This is your event as well as for us to celebrate these officers. So please feel comfortable at any time to come up and take photos, and we'll have plenty of opportunity. We're going to take some official photos, and you're welcome to have some of those too. Before we get going with the actual ceremony, I want to recognize a number of dignitaries who have taken time out of their busy schedules to be here to recognize and honor the Sarasota Police Department and its officers. And I'll start out with our Vice Mayor, Susanne Atwell. Our City Commissioner, Susan Chapman. On behalf of the city manager and our deputy city manager, Marlon Brown. We're honored also to have another one of our commissioners, Shelley Eddy, who's in the back. If you would please come on up here to the front. Okay. We also have with us Carolyn Mason, one of our county commissioners. We also have a number of special dignitaries that are here with us in law enforcement from the Sarasota Memorial Hospital, Chief Mickey Watson. From the Police Foundation, which I think many of you have heard about over the years, is really kicked off and got underway. And an individual we have a lot of thanks for is Christine Goodall. We have Sandy Hotwagner, who's the program manager for Suncoast Technical Criminal Justice Academy. We have Bob Bernard, who is a very special person, and we need to thank him for his generosity. He's actually given gifts to two of our police officers as scholarships so that they were able to go to the police academy, actually for Devin and Maya. So please let's give him a round of applause. And on behalf of our city manager, Tom Barwin, he wishes he could be here. He's been to all the other ones, but he's tied up on doing some important city business. But he wanted me to relay to you how important the police department is to him, and he feels bad that he isn't able to be here today. And just wanted to remind everyone, especially all of our officers, but everyone that's getting sworn in, how important partnership policing is to our city and our community. And we hadn't really formally announced this, but you'll be one of the first to hear it, that our crime rate is down over 7%, actually 7.4%. And please give our officers a round of applause for that. And it is the men and women of the Sarasota Police Department that are responsible for those numbers, and the city manager is going to be looking to our new hires to continue that number and that decline. So he's putting a big challenge out to you, but he's very proud of each and every one of you. So I hope that I haven't missed anybody. You're all important, but I wanted to just make sure I've recognized all the dignitaries that are in the room. And at this point, I want to ask all of you to please rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you. I don't know if you all saw the movie Not Without My Daughter. I actually saw it last night again. And at the end, if you've seen it, I'm sorry, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna give away just the end. There's a scene where she walks and she sees the American flag flying, and it actually brought tears to my eyes again after seeing it. We live in the greatest country in the world. And we have so many freedoms and so much protection under our Constitution with all of our rights, and we as law enforcement officers take that quite seriously. And that's why it's so important that we add the Pledge of Allegiance that we say at all of our ceremonies, because we have to remember how lucky we live in this country, and that we are sworn to defend all the men and women in our country and fight for all the rights and all the freedoms we have. We're so lucky and blessed. We may not be perfect all the time, but we're pretty darn near close to it. We live in the greatest country in the world, in my opinion. So without further ado, I'm going to ask our chaplain, Chaplain Geib, if you please come up and give the invocation.
Good afternoon. I'd like to invite you to join me in our afternoon invocation. Lord God Almighty, since it is written that the authorities that exist have been established by God, therefore I ask that your gracious presence be among us, and that you would affirm the delegation of authority to these officers second class, Devin Epps, Roberto Griot, Jamie Morrison, Larry Phelps, Maya Taylor, and to officers first class, Clifton Bishop, Isvin Shabazz, and Robert Morrison. May you be a shield of protection around them and their families. May your hand of strength, courage, wisdom, and discernment be upon them and guide their actions. And may your peace and justice be released through them in their service to our city. We ask this for all our law enforcement officers and emergency service personnel who serve our communities. So let it be. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chaplain. Just a few brief comments for me, and I've got to start out with thing I think is the most important is thanking the family and friends that are here. So I'm going to ask all the officers here, let's give the families and friends that are here for our officers a round of applause. Anybody that knows me knows how important family is to me. And I know how important you all are to the officers that you're here to see today. You've struggled with them. You've gone with them through every process. While you may not have been with them physically, you were definitely there spiritually, encouraging them, supporting them, being with them through all the good times and bad times and the many challenges that it takes to become a police officer. And that's going to continue. And we hope that it will continue because it's important to have your love and support as they continue on in a career in law enforcement. It's a tough time to be a police officer. But law enforcement officers have faced challenge like this since the beginning of time when police officers were patrolling the streets. This is really nothing new. The one thing is that we know we always have the love and support of our families and our friends to look out for us during these tough times. And my commitment to all of you is that we will give your officers all the tools, all the training, all the backup, and everything that we can to make sure they're safe and come home to you each and every day and every night after their shifts. And I hope that gives you an assurance that we're going to look out for their benefit and welfare. And we need you to look out for their welfare and benefit too when they're at home. Be the person that listens to them when they're under stress. Be there to support them when they're having good and bad days. And their promise to you is that they're going to share with you the good and bad times that they're having. And I tell each officer, and actually one of our newest hires, if you wouldn't mind, Trent standing up in the back. Let's give him a round of applause. I just offered him a job and he's accepted today. One of the things that I asked him to do was to make sure that he shared with his family what goes on while you're a police officer. Oftentimes we feel like when we come home, we don't want you to know what's going on because we don't want you to worry about us. But you worry about us anyway, and what you don't know is more scary than what we do share with you. Now, I did tell him not to tell you all the gruesome stuff, okay, to leave all that out of it, but that it's important to maintain relationships with you as to what is going on, good and bad in their day, so that you can be there to support them and know that they're okay, both physically and mentally. And it's really important as police officers to know that we have your love and support. I know my family means so much to me, and that's why this ceremony is just as much about all of you here as it is about the officers. And that's why I ask each of you, there's going to be a point in this ceremony when they get their pins, you get to pin the badge on their chest. I had my dad pin my badge on me, and actually my daughter pinned my badge on me here as chief here in Sarasota, because it is about family. It is a connection, and you're our strength and our foundation. So thank you all so much for being here for us and for being here for all of our police officers. So again, I give you all a round of applause for what you do for us. I want to introduce each of the candidates. So just have them stand up for a second and turn around and face you. And then when they stand up, I'm going to explain to you what it took for them to get to where they are right now. So first, Devin Epps, Roberto Griot, Jamie Morrison, Larry Phelps. Stand up and turn around and face, if you wouldn't mind. Stay facing them. And Maya Taylor. When you look at the men and women standing before you, and you look around this room at the men and women that are in uniform here, it wasn't just like, hey, come in, fill out an application, and have a little interview, and you're hired like you do at a lot of other jobs. This job, this career, this chosen occupation for the people that are standing before you was probably a decision that they made long, long before they ever applied for the job. And it was something that they knew in their character, in the upbringing that they had, and I thank you again for bringing up men and women that have the fine character that's needed to be a police officer. What they had to do is they had to fill in an application for the city, and they had to fill out an application for our police department. Then they had to go through testing, both written testing, oral interviews, physical testing. They were prodded and probed and everything you can, both physically and mentally. They go through psychological testing. They have to go through so many different backgrounds. We go to neighbors, friends. We even probably came to some of you as family members and talked to you. We look at your financial background. They go through a polygraph to make sure that they're honest and telling the truth. And while we're not looking for perfect angels, because there are no such things, we are looking for honest people, people with integrity. And after you did that, and you passed that, which is hard enough, then you have to go to a police academy. And once you pass that, then you have to go and take a state certification test, which, having done that myself, is not an easy thing to do. It's quite challenging and hard, and you're very stressed until you get your test results back, which just say you passed or you failed, and you find you passed. Then you have to go through agency-specific training, which is what these officers have done. I think they deserve a round of applause just for all of that. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize a woman in this room who was quite instrumental in going out and recruiting and doing backgrounds on and encouraging and guiding and getting them here. Please join me in thanking Kate Meeks Hall as our recruiter. I always say the most important job I have as chief is making sure I select the right people to be law enforcement officers. They have a great responsibility to keep our community safe, to engage with the citizens, have them build trust with us, have us have relationship with them, make sure that partnership policing that our city manager supports and advocates so much is instilled in the principles that these officers do every single day. And it's Kate's job to find me those people. And also find individuals that mirror our community. And I'm so proud that we have individuals that come within the city of Sarasota that were born and raised here. And so we're quite proud of the group of individuals. So while I still have the officers standing, I'm going to ask every law enforcement officer here, and for those of you who are civilians that think you can raise your hand and repeat, this isn't going to work for you. You have to be sworn. Okay? So if you would all please stand at attention, raise your right hand, and officers, new about to be sworn in officers, and our promotional officers, please, just police officers, just police officers. Say, I knew there was going to be some. I knew there was going to be some. It doesn't count if you swear, if you do that. That's awesome. So, if you would repeat after me. I, and then state your name. I, Bernadette DiPino, hereby upon my oath, solemnly swear that I will, to the best of my ability, uphold, protect, and defend, the constitutions of the state of Florida, and the United States of America, I further swear that I will, to the best of my ability, enforce the ordinances, laws, rules, and regulations as enacted by the City of Sarasota, Florida, as enacted by the City of Sarasota, Florida, the State of Florida, the State of Florida, and the United States of America, and the United States of America. I will at all times, maintain and conduct myself, in a manner befitting a police officer, of the City of Sarasota, upon which I am now about to enter. Congratulations, you are sworn in. Okay, I've made you face the audience long enough. You may have a seat. The first officer that's going to have their badge pinned on them is Officer Devin Epps. If you would please come forward. And SPD recruiter Kate Meeks Hall will have the honor of pinning your badge on. As I read you a little bit about Officer Epps. He's 28 years old. He was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and moved to Florida at age 9. He's currently a resident of Lehigh Acres, Florida, where he graduated from Lehigh Senior High School in 2005. In 2014, he received his bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Hodges University, and in 2015, his LEO certification from Suncoast Technical College. Officer Epps served 4 years in the United States Navy as an E-5 second-class petty officer stationed overseas in Japan. In 2009, he returned to Florida and became a Certified Correctional Officer, where we stole him back and brought him into law enforcement. After 5 years, he was promoted to sergeant and a member of the Correctional Emergency Response Team. His motivation for wanting to be in law enforcement is his family. He feels the best way to keep them safe is to do his part by contributing to the law enforcement community. His goal is to one day become part of a special unit within the Sarasota Police Department. Congratulations, Officer Epps. Officer Roberto Griot, would you please come forward? He will be pinned by his father, Roberto Griot Sr. If you would please come forward at this time. Some other family members that are attending is his mom, Norlie Griot, his older sister, Yenny, his younger sister, Naomi, and his girlfriend, Kristen Billiter. If you would stay up here, Dad. Stay up here for a little bit, please. Thank you. Roberto participated in Career Source Suncoast Youth Program, and when the City of Sarasota entered into a partnership with the CSS, which is Career Source Suncoast, Roberto was recommended to our department. We are grateful to them for giving us the opportunity to add Roberto to our family, especially our police family. Representing Career Source Suncoast today is Carolyn Williams, the case manager, and Jen Bartolone, communications director. Could you both stand up, please, so we can recognize you? Give you a round of applause. Officer Griot's 21 years old. He was born in Havana, Cuba. He graduated from Bayshore High School in Bradenton and has attended State College of Florida for the past 2 years, where he is 2 classes shy from an AS degree in criminal justice. He received his LEO certification from Manatee Technical College Police Academy. His father was a law enforcement officer in Cuba, and the main reason he chose this profession. His goal is to be successful in his career as a police officer and to join either the K-9 or dive team at SPD. Congratulations, Officer Griot. Next is Officer Jamie Morrison, and she will be pinned by her boyfriend, George Burkhold. I love your tie. That's awesome. He's wearing a thin blue line tie. I like that. It's awesome. Other family members attending are her grandparents, Jackie and Ed Clemens, and Ed Grontgal. Did I pronounce that correct? No. How do you say it? Gagne. Oh, totally wrong. Gagne. Ed Gagne. Sorry, Mr. Gagne. Cousin Brian Gregory, her aunt Vicki Robinette, her boyfriend's parents George and Cindy Burkhold, her boyfriend's aunt Mary Burkhold, her friends Sheena Shatraw. Is that correct? Close? Okay. Her uncle, who is a retired police officer with our agency, one of our best detectives, and former Marine also, Jack Carter. And also her cousin is Sean Carter, one of our police officers. Did I miss anybody in the family that's here? Okay. Officer Morrison's 24 years old, and she was born and raised in Sarasota and is a graduate of Sarasota High School, where she played soccer for 3 years. In 2012, she received her AA degree in Arts and Science from State College of Florida. In 2014, she received her bachelor's degree in criminology from USF Sarasota Manatee. In 2015, she received her law enforcement officer certification from Suncoast Technical College Criminal Justice Academy. She was a member of the 4-H Club for 8 years and is now a 4-H Club leader. Officer Morrison has always been interested in the field of criminal justice. In high school, she was majoring in accounting, but after taking a criminal justice class as an elective, she changed her major. I totally agree with you on that. I totally understand. And as a police officer, she would like to set an example for her 3 younger sisters and is excited to start her career at SPD. Congratulations, Officer Morrison. Next is Officer Larry Phelps, and he will be pinned by his grandfather, Oscar. Other family members are his fiancée, Rashida, brother Michael, mother Willie Mae, grandmother Mary, great-grandmother Eartha, mother-in-law Donna, and his friend Anthony. Officer Phelps is 23 years old. Please stay here, Granddad, thank you. He was born and raised in Sarasota, Florida in the Newtown area. He graduated from Northport High School. In 2014, he received his AA degree in criminal justice from the State College of Florida. In June of 2015, he graduated from the Suncoast Technical College, Sarasota Criminal Justice Academy. He would like to show his family, no matter where you're from or what you may go through, with dedication and hard work, you can become anything you want to be. Never give up on your dreams. Officer Phelps' goal is to become a school resource officer to show the students that they can become anything they want to be and to mentor those who are less fortunate and need guidance. Congratulations, Officer Phelps. Next is Officer Maya Taylor. She will be pinned by her father, Howard Taylor, who was retired after a 26-year career in the Air Force as a Master Sergeant. Other family attending, I don't want to mess up your sister's name. What's your sister's name? Aja. Aja and your mom, Sonia Taylor, who is a lieutenant at the Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons, Federal Correction Institute in Tallahassee. Officer Taylor is 23 years old. She was born and raised in Miami, Florida. In 2014, she received her bachelor's degree in psychology and sociology from New College of Florida. She received her law enforcement officer training from Suncoast Technical College, Sarasota Criminal Justice Academy. She is presently attending the University of West Florida to earn her master's degree in public health. Officer Taylor has a number of friends and family members in law enforcement careers, which got her interested early on. She finds the opportunity to positively influence people's decisions very fulfilling. Congratulations, Officer Taylor. Hold that sign up, everybody. She brought her own cheering squad. That's awesome. One more thing. She also has another fan who brought her some purple roses. We also have some special gifts for every one of the officers here. Would you mind saying a few words about that?
I am here from Doctors Express. I work with Michael at Pino and know Maya from working with her on a couple outreach programs, and I'm very proud of her. And we are, as a medical clinic, interested in giving you some gifts.
Let's give them a round of applause. I think there's a lot of Band-Aids and Neosporin, that kind of stuff, and books and stuff, good educational stuff. Good stuff. So, again, one more round of applause for all our new officers. Now it gives me great pleasure and honor to recognize some of our newly promoted police officers that went from Officer Second Class to Officer First Class. And I'm going to introduce them one at a time. Officer Clifton Bishop, and if you would mind, come on up. Stand right up here. I just remember the day I hired him. I can't believe that already it's been that long. And pinning him will be his wife, Harley Bishop. If you would please come on up. Officer Bishop has worked, has his wife Harley is pinning him. She works in our records unit. Officer Bishop joined the department in July of 2013. He's currently assigned to the night shift 2A. He received a unit citation for an incident in July of 2014 where a subject was witnessed shooting a firearm in the street off of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way. Officer Bishop responded and was able to apprehend the subject who was attempting to flee with a firearm. And he did so without having to fire his weapon at all. It took a lot of courage and really good restraint by all the officers, and he received a unit citation for that. So congratulations to Officer Bishop. Officer Isben Shabazz Sanchez will be pinned by his wife, Karen Shabazz. Come on up. Also attending are his mother and father-in-law, Antonio and Juanita Rodriguez, and brother Thomas Shabazz. Okay, our officer joined the department in July of 2013. He's currently assigned to night shift 2A. And in August of 2013, he was recognized for his assistance in responding to a depressed and suicidal subject who had cut his wrist. Officer Shabazz Sanchez used his professionalism and courage to defuse what could have become a very volatile situation. In December of 2014, he received a commendation for responding to a shooting on North Washington Boulevard where 5 victims had been shot, 2 were deceased, and 150 to 200 people had gathered. He skillfully interacted with the crowd and was able to calm the situation and gain citizen cooperation. In June of 2015, the department received a compliment via Twitter from a citizen thanking our officer for coming to the defense of a family member in crisis. This is just an example of all the fine work that our officers do all the time, and what a great representation he is. Let's give him a round of applause. And last but certainly not least is Officer Robert Morrison, who's going to be pinned by his wife, Victoria. Officer Morrison joined the department in September of 2013. Last week, he transferred from the Patrol Division Shift 2B to become a training officer in the Support Services Division. He has received 5 commendations since joining the department. For number 1, in 2014, he was able to detain a subject who had just doused his house with fire and was threatening to set himself on fire, along with his wife and infant son, who were also inside the house. In June of 2014, he and his partner observed a subject loitering on Main Street who was witnessed pulling doors handles of vehicles parked along the street. The subject entered a vehicle and started into it and then attempted to flee. He was apprehended and charged with grand theft auto. And by the way, lock up your car doors, please. Lock them up. That's our number one reason why people break into cars, is because just what was happening here, and we've got great officers that luckily once in a while can catch them doing it, so good job. In June 2015, while on patrol observing a suspect loitering outside the Family Dollar on North Tamiami Trail, the suspect had a large rock wrapped in a t-shirt and was preparing to commit a burglary. Officer Morrison and his partner were able to prevent a crime from occurring. And then lastly, September of 2015, he was called to investigate a burglary battery at the Flamingo Inn, where 2 adult individuals were arrested. The subjects had 2 small children, ages 3 and 4, who were found living in deplorable conditions. While waiting for the DCF to arrive, Officer Morrison and his partner purchased healthy food and drinks for the children with their own money. Again, another fine example of what Sarasota police officers do each and every day. Let's congratulate Officer Morrison. At this point, I'd like to call up our Vice Mayor, Susanne Atwell, to say a few words. Always our biggest supporter, and we always enjoy hearing what you have to say.
Oh,
Thank
how do
you
I
so
follow
much.
this? How do I follow this? I don't know. Congratulations. Fresh, new, spanking new uniforms. It's wonderful to see. And I love your posture. I love the way you hold your hats. I love the shine of your shoes. It's wonderful. You're embarking on an amazing career, and I've always said this. And congratulations. You're now first class. So, good. You should be. And you're here because you know SPD, and you're on your way. 5 new officers, 3 promotions. Way to go, Chief. This is very exciting. Every time I come here, I've come to many of these. I've been a commissioner for 7 years now, and it only gets better and better, the Sarasota Police Department. The men and women in blue here are your elite, and you are joining the elite. And what we're seeing all over the country is how do all our police departments reflect the community? This is it. This is unbelievable. What an amazing group of people that you all are, and how the diversity is overwhelming. You are a reflection of this great community. We're going to have some of the similar problems of all communities, but when you reflect and identify with a lot of the people in the community, this is absolutely wonderful. You know, I love you to death. I have been the biggest cheerleader for SPD for so long. So whenever, and you know, how many do you need? Every time, I know, and she says that every time. And I mean that. Every time you do come to the commission, this is about safety. And as you mentioned, Chief, it's a tough time to be a police officer in this community. And in any community all over the country. We are state of the art. We are a model community, and you can rest assured, you new officers, that you are an elite group of people that is a model in this country on so many levels I can't even name them. But we hear stories all the time about how we are front and center with state-of-the-art community-led policing. It's absolutely wonderful. So I congratulate you all, and I want to leave you with one thing. All you're doing, I feel safer every time I come to one of these. I feel safer now that you're all here, you're promoted, but I want you to know that you can only keep us safe if we keep you safe. Always know we have your back. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
And representing the city, Marlon Brown, our Deputy City Manager.
Thank you. First of all, I want to just echo, what the chief mentioned and also the vice mayor mentioned. The stories that you heard about each one of these officers who were sworn in today, those who have been promoted, really tells a testament of the quality of the individual that the police department is hiring. It really speaks to what you have in terms of our future. When you look at these individuals who have been sworn in today, and when you look at what we have in the city, we're talking about a community that's about 15 square miles. We have about 53,000 residents, which during the day grows to about 100,000 residents. We have about 14 million visitors that come to Sarasota County each year. Of those 4 million, 3 million visit the city of Sarasota. These are the people that you are putting ahead of yourselves in terms of protecting. And what a way to do it by becoming a police officer of the Sarasota Police Department. You have a lot ahead of you. We are expecting a lot of you, but we know that you can do it. So congratulations, and be assured that we have your backs. Be assured that we have your backs. Congratulations.
I've been remiss in introducing some of our command staff that are here. I'd like to introduce Deputy Chief Pat Robinson, Patrol Commander Captain Kevin Stiff, and our Support Services Captain Commander Jim Reeser, and he's the one that's behind all the training that they have gone through. And one other thing I want to add about Kate Meeks Hall, and it was reminded when Susanne Atwell was talking about how progressive and how on the forefront our agency is. Recently, our agency was one of only 11 out of all the law enforcement agencies in the country, one of 11 agencies that the Department of Justice recognized for representing one of the 6 pillars in the President's 21st Century Task Force and Policing study that was done. And it was because of our outreach with recruitment and the hiring of individuals with character and diversity within our organization. So let's give Kate another round of applause too. And I'll close by saying while we definitely want to represent our community and its diversity, what I'm most proud of the men and women that we've hired here today is the good characters that they are, the good people they are, the big hearts that they have. And I'm going to be sending you out here, just like we have every one of our officers here, and giving you and empowering you with a lot of responsibility. It's a big job, but I know each of you is capable of doing it. So please go out and show the community why I hired you, why this agency hired you, why this city hired you. Know we support you. Know that we've got your back, as you've heard us some number of times over. Go out and make us proud each and every day. Keep this badge as shiny the day that you retire as the day it is now. And may you always look at your career as you do out of the eyes of a rookie. May you always remember how proud you feel to be a law enforcement officer, how much commitment you have to the community that you're going to serve. May that never be tarnished. May there never be an incident that makes you turn away from this job. And I'm very proud of each and every one of you. Congratulations.